Hi everyone, thank you for joining Promoter Cool Cards. A new series of our financially trusted conversations have started. I don't know when we shall complete the 1000 ways to build wealth, but if you really want someone to become wealthy, be sure that you don't miss any of the 1000 ways. They are the only proven way for anyone to get wealthy. Actually, these 1000 ways for someone to build wealth are ultimately going to be the wealth book. They are the only thing you can relate to the fact that the Bible is. You still don't like reading the Bible, the Quran, but all of those very holy books clearly show us how we can become wealthy. They tell us about the mistakes we can make, the things we can do. Thank you everyone. We're typically going to keep speaking a lot of English because we've been talking about money lessons over the last about 5 weeks, and some people are very happy about the fact that we actually had the time to talk about the things that parents don't talk about, the money lessons that teachers are never taught, that the students that they teach never get a chance to be taught about, and then the financial literacy that is growing nowadays. I just had a very nice conversation with Musumba Dushiglam. She told me she was at school today, and then the children were saving money, and then they were handing over their money to them today so they can go and invest the money. But importantly for us here, we are all about making sure everyone becomes wealthy. Someone might ask you a question like, how much money do you have in your pocket today? I watched a video of a lady who was saying, there are some people I cannot allow to advise me. Yeah, and I think she was very right and maybe very wrong as well. That there are some people that she cannot allow to advise her, that if you don't have money, you cannot advise about making money. And then wealth is not money, ladies and gentlemen. For everyone that is going to be following this series of 1000 ways to build wealth, the starting point is that you need to realize that wealth is not money. Wealth is something that carries you through very many things, starting with how you feel and think about life, starting with the decisions you make every day of your life, starting with those things you think are not useful, like collecting rubbish, yeah, like being a cleaner of thousands of homes and then having the biggest cleaning company. But because many people who went to school think that is very useless business to do. So in our series of 1000 ways to build wealth, we are typically going to count down to 1000. If you've never heard of anything like 1000 ways, we are writing a book on 1000 ways to build wealth. It's something we've been working on for a long time. We first wrote something called 100 ways CEOs make wealth. And then we thought we couldn't be writing for only CEOs, but also thought it was important that everyone around becomes the CEO if they wish. So when you become a CEO, you become first a CEO of your life because you are definitely that CEO of your life. Then you become a CEO of your progress. So you grow, you become wealthy, you make money, you win so many things in this life. What is that one thing that everyone must do to become wealthy? I'll tell you today, and I can tell you that the things we are going to tell you in the 1000 ways to build wealth series, everything actually can make you wealthy. And I can assure you, going forward, you can take this as the handbook for becoming wealthy. Just like the Bible is the handbook for going to heaven, not so? Now, if you want to become wealthy, be sure that for whatever you do. So, CEO Dr. JB says they must be able to solve a real problem. Nice, close to the answer. What is that one thing that you must do to build wealth and eventually become wealthy? Of course, you can have definitions of wealth, whatever you want, but track every expense. School card says, tell us what is that one thing. Number one, because we're going to go through each one of them one at a time. So every single session when we can maybe do 10 to 20 of them. But then today we are starting with that number one. And the number one is going to be that something that is going to tell you that decision that you made a year ago, 5 years ago, a minute ago is the perfect decision. I loudly heard CEO Derek Events a few weeks ago telling me, oh, something triggered his mind to start some other something. Yeah. So if you want to become wealthy, or if you want to build wealth for yourself, for many other people, you start buy assets. What's up? What's up with you? Yeah, Vaswald says invest in cassava, you'll thank me later. Nice, that's also very awesome. The decision to want to be wealthy, Dr. JB says, oh, awesome. Which of all these answers actually very valid? Eh? For whatever it is, I want us to start with number one. And now number one, ladies and gentlemen, comes here. So, you've had those conversations of a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, right? You've had the conversations and those discussions of for whatever you ever want to do, start. Not so. You've also had the discussions of people who say, for if you never start, you will never go anywhere. Start what? Yeah, because you said start what? So the first and the most important way to build wealth is to start a business. When you say start, Vaz said cassava. Dr. JB said do this and investigate it. Someone said invest in assets. Someone said savings. But number one, the most important way for you to build wealth, and I can tell you this, if you know your grandmothers and grandfathers who died poor or who are very poor right now because they were only busy carrying bags for other people, is because they remained poor because they didn't start any business. I can tell you this without fear or favor. If you know someone who is struggling for their life because they're 80 years right now, and then they're also struggling with their children and their grandchildren, check them out and see they fear to start any business. The rule number one and the first way to build wealth is start a business. Your business can be one that collects rubbish at Kanjucha House or HiPipo Towers. Your business can be the one that cleans trenches and makes sure everyone around authentically pays for the service. Your business can be creating content online and say, every day of my life, I'm going to create a video of 1 hour. I'm going to talk about all the things that I know, that I have seen in the day and summarize them. Your business can be saying, I'm going to support 100 businesses every single day to build something. Your business can be teaching someone else a skill that they don't know. But as long as you start a business, as the first and the number one rule of building wealth, when you start something, allow yourself to start and fall so many times. Fail as many times and let us laugh at you. Because many of us who don't start things are very quick at laughing at people. Then those who are newcomers in starting things are also very, very quick at thinking that they're going to be smart. There is not one single lesson of business running that you're going to miss. And there is not one single step that you're going to miss and make it in life. Unless if you are robbing people. So one of those days I was asking our colleagues here, I was asking Vaswald and other colleagues, and asking them, oh, and Nick as well. I was asking them about how someone you see making a lot of money somewhere in Chuku makes a lot of profits when their neighbor is not making profit. Yeah, and then they have a business that they started in their business. Probably there is a business of discounting everyone by giving you less. So there is this story that we usually talk about of a person who had a bakery and another who sells meat, had the butcher. And all these two people started a business. So one day the person who runs the butcher, the one who runs the bakery, went complaining to the guy who runs the butcher about the weight of the meat, the beef that they had bought, telling them, I think you give me less of the meat that I pay for every single time. And then this person quickly responded and told him, I use the bread you give me to measure your kilogram because it is labeled with 1 kilogram. So every time when you give me the kg, I make sure that's the standard I use to give you another kg of meat. Do you know where that conversation ended? You might never imagine either it ended in jail or someone almost got out a panga to make sure someone's head is actually cut. But why? Because people who studied physics will tell you about things like action and reaction are equal and opposite forces. And indeed, they are equal and opposite forces. So how do you expect to ever wake up and make wealth, yet you never did the first thing that makes you wealthy? Starting a business. So if you didn't start a business, then you must be with someone who starts a business. So co-own a business, build with someone and make sure you are with them every single time. Make sure for whatever that there is that happens. So starting a business can be, I can start a business of minding other people's business. I don't know whether that makes sense. Yeah? I can start a business of minding other people's business. So people who started journalism, some of them left the business of doing their business. And they started a business of minding other people's business. They're the ones who know whoever is poor. They are the ones who know whoever is wealthy. They are the ones who know who is expecting. They are the ones who know who is going to release a song. They are the ones who dream about everything. They started a business of minding other people's business. And they make money. So if you cannot even start that one, how do we trust you to be a part of the 1,000 ways to build wealth? Ask yourself. You can't even start a business of minding other people's business. So I know someone who has made millions of dollars from Lugambo. Typical gossiping every single time of their life. But then we know that some of the biggest media houses in the world, forget the others that run a lot of politics, some of them actually, the TMZs of this world, trade in minding other people's business. When they have a journalist that is always at the beach waiting for who is going to run naked. They have someone waiting at a mall because they know a NIM goes there to shop. So they're waiting for you to come with something they don't expect you. They're like, oh, wow, you see how he dressed up. Someone every single morning wakes up to do the business of minding other people's business, and they make money. Then they ask all of us, and they're like, Sophie, what did you start doing? And then they say, me, I wake up and I do the things, the work they give me to do. You are not starting anything for yourself. It is a bad habit. Yes, promoter coolcats, they are parrots somehow. And because you are doing the business of being a parrot, you didn't start the business. You only mimicked one. You copied one. So ladies and gentlemen, for the 1,000 ways to build wealth, the first thing you must ever do is start a business. Leave the rest to God. Of course, you're going to show up. So what is number 2? Can someone guess? So I will ask every one of us if you can check your wallet right now, if you can check your pockets, if you can check the list of the people who owe you money. What do you have with yourself, for example, that you really, really own? What do you own? Yeah, you have to find means of maintaining the business. We are getting there, but what do you own today? What do you feel like when I ask you, what worth do you have right now? You ask me right now, my pockets have no money right now because I'm not fond of having cash on me. You ask me again, my wallets, my digital wallets don't have so much right now because I've invested all of it. But then you ask me, what do you have today? Because I would be able to make a decision today of maybe 1 billion shillings or 2 billion or 20 billion or 100 billion or even 1 trillion. If someone wanted today, I would be able to make that decision. Whatever basis it is, if I wanted to sell my stake in my doctor, I can sell all of you. Like seriously, I can sell you. I make sure I sell my stake. I have something that I started in 2009. So we started and then we are built over time. And that something today or tomorrow might be worth $1 trillion. So it might be that one thing that can beat, what's his name? Elon Musk. Very easily. Why? Because it has purpose. Yeah. And then Solar M7 Baby says, I have rich friends. Of course, when you have rich friends, you have money. Clearly. You are rich. And people will be begging you to take letters to them, of course. And those people, and I'm not going to say their names, I was going to say but. So, Sanora says, actually, in negative, yeah, the negatives are not. And Promoter Kuka says, only my social media handles, nothing else. Okay. All right. So, you see, what do you have? Ask yourself. So, if you don't ever think about what you have, number 2 way of building wealth in our series of 1000 ways to make wealth, number 2 is invest consistently. So someone is going to ask me, am I going to invest your teeth? Yes, invest them if they are yours. Okay? Yes. Someone else is going to ask you, I have debts everywhere. What am I going to invest? Me, I have debts almost everywhere. Now, not because I'm failing to pay, but I have debts in banks, in microfinance institutions, wherever. Because we have businesses that get debts. But then when you ask me about investing, I could first put it in quotes, but I could also tell you, in the best way possible, what do you have to invest? I asked all of us, check your pockets. Dr. JB says, solve a real problem. Yes, and he's saying he loves solving problems. I've known him for all the years, for more than a decade, solving problems and also right. So number 2 is invest consistently. What do all of us have equally? For example, if I asked you, what is that one thing that myself, Solar M7 Baby, Nick, Promoter Cool Cats, Dr. JB, Vaz World, Derek Events, Madam President here, Ngawire Israel, what do we all have in common? Beautiful. That's time. Okay? So every one of us, whether you like sleeping a lot and you sleep for 12 hours a day, that's your business. If it makes you healthy, it is okay. Sleep because, thank you, Barbara, because it is your body. You're feeling tired, you want to sleep, sleep. But if you spend most of your time in a bar, drinking and getting unsober, you are spending years, not hours. But time is that something all of us can invest consistently before you think about all the money you want to invest. So I've been telling all of us since the beginning of the year, what is that something you lend people? So some people have time, but they even never lend it to anyone. The moment you tell them, I think you have potential to make sales in this kind of stuff, the next thing is they're saying, shall we be having some money for facilitation to go and sell? For me, where am I going to get them? And am I going to use your teeth to go and sell? Like, seriously. Like, you want to ask people, you see, this world that we live in, people should look at life realistically. So all of us every day wake up with 24 hours. Whether it is President Museveni, whether it is Bill Gates, whether it's Warren Buffett, whether it's Elon Musk, whoever it is, every one of us, whether it is Nim, everyone wakes up with 24 hours. So whether you're waking up at 8, whether you're waking up at midnight, whether you're waking up at 1, the round of time that goes around until when you go back to that hour is 24 hours. So meaning, we have no reason of saying Bill Gates is overprivileged, first of all. Yes, he might have been born in a place that was better organized. But all of us who have phones today can have an hour every day that they invest consistently in a small business and make sure they get 100 people viewing their stuff. Not so? So if you get 100 views of your content, for your content every day, how many views will you have in 365 days? That is 36,000, right? And you think that is the joke. Yet I know a company here that makes a lot of money, and then they spend 5 years without 10,000 views. I know one. I wish I would mention it here. But then their social media handlers should check it. I know one organization in this country, it is among the top 1,000 taxpayers. Actually, it is in the top 20. But this organization can get like about 20,000 views in a whole year. Can you imagine? So imagine if you had 5 platforms. You have a HiPipo money platform where you publish every day, you write an article. You have a Twitter, you have a Facebook, a TikTok, and which other, and YouTube. And each of these, and Instagram. And on each of these, every day you make sure that the content you share, your knowledge, your insights, that content that you share actually gets you at least 100 views on each platform. How many views will you have? 600, right? A day. So how many will you have in a year? You're poor at math. Okay. So you'll have about 215,000 views in 1 year because you invested 1 hour consistently every day. So I'll give you one testimony. Solar M7 baby I just posted here, but Kulkas was saying, and where does life fall? Life falls where? You want life to fall in a dish? Eh? Yeah. So we all have life, and life is a consistent of having time. Eh? Like time, time leverages time. Yeah, to be. Yeah. So I'll tell you a story of something, and Nick here has a testimony, and all of us, that for very many years we built HiPipo Money as a platform. It was the biggest and the most consumed news platform in Uganda online for very many years, about 5 years. Then one day we stopped investing our time in it. Even the word consistency wasn't close. We decided to let it be. Whenever we have a press statement, we publish one story. Whenever we have something we are doing as HiPipo, we post another. When we have our friends. So about 3 months ago, we embarked on rebuilding things we know very well, because we've done these things for a long time. And wow, you don't know how many hundreds count every single day right now. The story can be longer. It's not what we're here. But number 2 of the 1,000 ways to build wealth is invest consistently. So if you are there in Katanga, Chikuba Mutwe, or Nakapiripiriti, or Kabale, or Jinja, wherever you are, or Guru, and you think you're very poor, you only want to be an askari, okay? You want to work at night and then you go and sleep the whole day, as if you would want to sleep the same way if you own the business. Can you begin thinking of the best ways of using your time? If you are a doctor, a nurse, a midwife, anywhere that wants to have offs 3 times in a week, and then you sleep at home, and then you tell us about how you're tired because you worked on one day. Learn to use the number 2 way of building wealth. Invest consistently. Start by investing your time. You have some knowledge, use it meaningfully, invest it somewhere. For starters, every single day, at least invest 1 hour into something. So for me, every day I invest an hour in about 12 businesses, different organizations. I do something here for Solar M7, I do another for HiPipo University, something for Safe Riders, something for My Doctor, something for Fresco Chicken, something for PesaJet. I do something every single time. And all these things, Decent Africa, I build all of these things. None of them has really made so much money right now. But I know the My Doctor that I've been investing time in since 2009, right now makes more sense to me, that it has grown. And other people that we actually invest time with. I invest my time and make sure that time is meaningfully used to make sure I add some value. So today when I see someone like Vaz World, I know for the fact we work in the same space. And then they'll tell you, oh, they invest time into doing something meaningfully. Go and try to sell things, go and market things. It is never hard to even make the first shot. But how about if you don't do anything? Do you think anyone will call you to even try out your product? So ladies and gentlemen, we said the first way to build wealth is start a business. The second way, ladies and gentlemen, is invest consistently. Don't ask us whether you have money or we are going to give you capital. You have the most important capital. As long as you have life, you have time. So start by investing your time, and that time will meaningfully pay off, I can assure you. When it never pays off 10 years from now, come to me and slap me. That I've said, and I'm not taking back my words. If you don't make a good living in your life after investing an hour every day into some business, after 3,650 days of you not doing anything, you come to me and snap me. Now that is the bait, right? And I mean to say it, if you're watching this video. But if you make money, come to me with 10% of that money and thank me later. I know millions of people will come with 10%. Of course, I can read for you my number. Nick will put it there somewhere below on the video. If you invest 1 hour in something every day, and 10 years from now, you don't have a better life than how you are today, you don't have something that you would mimic and call wealth, come to me and slap me. But if you make money in 10 years from now and you feel wealthy and you feel like you made it in life, come to me with 10% of the money. I'm not the tax authority, I'm not URA, I'm not the tax authority of any country in the world, and I never want to be any of them. But I can assure you, as long as you start something, as long as you invest consistently in it, and then for this matter, don't tell us you don't have money. Invest your time. I told you about my friend that I advised to pick bottles in Sweden, and he picked bottles of soda. Yeah, he picked bottles of Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and then when he picked them, each one of them was worth about 1 krone, and it's almost equivalent to $1. After some time, I don't remember how much time he spent collecting them. For the first time in his family, his entire family tree, he was the first person to have $500,000 because he used his time to look around like a fool, and people thought he was a fool, but he was looking out for litter. Whoever dumped a bottle that he thought was money to him, he collected them. And at the end of the day, he had raised $500,000. If you are in Uganda, that money is close to 1.7 billion shillings. This person is my friend. He didn't steal. I'm the one who gave him the knowledge. He never gave me a single dollar on that money. Also important. Actually, from the day when he made the money, we stopped talking seriously. Now we no longer talk. I don't know why. I think he even has like 5 new lines. But I can tell you the story that this person started, he started a business. What was the business? The business was collecting bottles. Number 2, he invested time consistently. So he invested consistently. Every time when he could leave his chair, he could make sure he goes by every street before he reaches home. So he could really use trains and the likes. He could pick his stuff, put them in his bag, his backpack, what you call it, Gen Z's. And after some time, I think it was like 4 or 5 years, he had collected 500,000 bottles. Luckily, he had a compound where someone allowed him to put them. And this person never stole any of them. The moment they were 500,000, he just went to the collection company. This time, the ones who picked them themselves. And then they gave him his $500,000, and he became a $500,000, right? You see how easy it is to make wealth? We are talking about the 1,000 ways to build wealth. If you want to build wealth, someone would ask me today, wherever you are, that how much money do you have in your pocket today? No, I have so much I cannot tell you, but I can also tell you I've been able and been blessed to build more than 30 businesses that are all by asset, by value, by impact. Each one of them is worth more than $20 million. Each one of them. And that the $20 million worth one is the least one. The others are all worth more than that. I'm not saying these things to brag. I am sharing with you to tell you that I have been blessed to believe in the fact that every time when I start a business, it is going to grow somewhere. It is going to change someone's life. It's going to impact people. I will give you an example of things like Decent Africa. I remember when we started as a fashion line, and before we knew, we had a big idea of being the biggest ranking authority for first ladies in the world and for decency anywhere. So what is it worth like hosting a first lady twice in a year, if you put it in money terms, and having them for hours? Your guess is as good as mine. Those are the things you can do when you use your time. So start something. Don't think about how silly we think you are, because we're not going to pay your bills. Don't think about how we think you're wasting your time. No. It's not. It's your time. Like we even say, it's your time. Think about how passionate you are about doing this thing. Then do it so many times. Do it as much as you can, so that someone one day will be like, oh wow, it was worth doing. Oh wow. Everyone who has a child that they want to shape differently wants to bring them to HiPipo for internship. Sicho? Everyone who has a person who they think need some ideas. So Sola M7 Baby was telling me recently, because she's in charge of our mentorship program, she's going to stop allowing anyone to meet me for free. The only times you're going to meet me is going to be here, on this video that you're watching. If you want ideas, we have helped so many people, probably close to 1 million right now, to make wealth. And because we are not tired, that's why we're recording this video. But if you want to have a one-on-one, someone is going to close the door. And then you have to pay for that. Why? People take for granted almost everything they get for free. So whoever is not tapping our screen right now, you're getting this knowledge for free. And I'm afraid we might ask TikTok to put you off. But if you want to become wealthy and stop telling people that you're poor, as in, how do you even start waking up and telling people you are poor? Every single day you announce poverty on yourself and your children. You call yourself you the poor. Who told you you're poor? Yet you walk and someone is in the hospital struggling for their life. Who told you you're poor? Yet you have the same time that Bill Gates has, that President Museveni has, that Nim has. Who told you you're poor? So ladies and gentlemen, number 2 is invest consistently. Number 1 is start a business. So number 3 is learn high income skills. Okay? So the person who collected 500,000 bottles just learned one skill. It was high income. It was clear that as long as you collect 500,000, there is an equivalence of 500,000 US dollars. It was high income that he knew there was a buyer that would buy it. So for me, who has ever been in business of scrap, if you have ever sold scrap, tell us in the comment section how good the business was. You guys who are selling scrap nowadays, you're selling it expensively. You're making a lot of money. For us, we used to sell a kilo of steel and iron at 30 shillings back in the days. But every single day, I always had a target of selling a minimum of 100 kgs. And that is 3,000 shillings. So sometimes we could go and buy this scrap from other guys who didn't know the value, all those who didn't know the right buyer. So we buy it from them at 15 shillings. And then we make a profit of 15 shillings. So every single day between my age 9 and 14, I could always, every day of my life, I could make profit of at least 1,500 shillings. And I feel it in me up to today that actually it made sense. When they ask you, for you, what is that one thing you have done for 3 years consistently? So someone, VJ Mark, was reminding me of a story of a discussion that was in State House. Youth went to meet the president asking for money. And a number of them were my friends, including VJ Mark and the likes. So they went and told the president, we want capital. We want to start some businesses. And then the president asked them, among you, who has done something consistently for 5 years? This is the President Museveni asking them, who of you has done something consistently for 5 years? So he told them, for me, I was in the bush for 5 years fighting to be president. And we liberated Ugandans. For you, what have you done for 5 years? Guess what? Among these more than 80 youth that were in the State House, only VJ Mark had done something every day for 5 years. What we used to call silly, because they even used to beat us sometimes for going to Vivandas, the video halls. But for him, he had made sure he video jokes. Yeah? He does his translation of videos, of movies every day for 5 years. So when he stood up and told the president told him, you are the one who only deserves to be given my money today. Why? You understand the art of becoming wealthy. Everyone else who sees Nick doing something, then they jump on it. The next day they see Doreen doing something, they jump on it. The next day they go to Jude Color Solutions doing something, they say, I also want to start a printer. You're a joker, I can assure you. If you want to take head on head with Jude Color Solutions, go now. Start and make sure you do it. They have done it for 15 years, not so? So make sure you do it every day. So at the time when you become 15 years, you're proud to say, wow, I've done it every single day. But if today you are selling papers, the next day you want to print t-shirts, the next day you want to sell cassava, you didn't start any business. You're only trying to joke around in business. So ladies and gentlemen, number 3 of the 1,000 ways to build wealth is learn a high income skill. So the high income skill can be editing your videos, for example, because it is highly paid. At the bare minimum in Hollywood, a video editor every hour is paid at least $30. And $30 means you will be paid about $300 if you work for 10 hours. In Kwacha, in Zambian Kwacha, that's about 3,000. In Ugandan shilling, no, like, yeah, 3,000 Kwacha. In Ugandan shillings, that's about 1,100,000 shillings. If you are that person that actually can learn, for example, editing your own videos. Now, forget about editing them for someone. If every single day you can spend 10 hours of editing videos your own and publishing them, it would mean that you have worked for a minimum of maybe 10 hours. So if these videos 10 years later, each one of them, it starts paying you the $300 that it was supposed to pay you today, won't you make that money? Won't you be wealthy? How many videos would you have produced if you spent 10 hours every day editing a video or 2? How many videos, even if you're only producing 2 videos in a day or 1, how many videos would you have produced after 10 years? Isn't that a minimum of 3,650 videos? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah, I know people are saying they are poor at math. And Musumba Doshiglam says, I'm taking serious notes. Learning lots here. Thank you, Musumba. So, 10 years later, you had a high income skill, you used it to create your own content. And then you've created 3,650 videos. They are all on your name. You are the owner of this content. So, you have a library that someone wants to use. And you think you're not going to make money? Honestly, third way of the 1,000 ways to build wealth is learn a high income skill. There are very many of them. If you are a doctor, if you are a teacher, if you are a journalist, you already have a skill. Now, utilize that skill in ways that actually help you build wealth. You'll thank all of us later. And of course, I'll remind all of you that on the 13th of November, the HiPipo Music Awards 15th edition will be happening. Be sure to buy a ticket. Every one of you here should tell at least 100 people to buy tickets so that we have 5,000 of all of you here. And you can always feel free to ensure you take Nonda Coffee. It's very magical. So thank you, Nonda Coffee, our very own, for joining us. So take Nonda Coffee, and from all of us at My Doctor, HiPipo University, we are strictly speaking about the 1,000 ways to build wealth. And for those who have been following, we are on number 3. Number 1 is start a business. Number 2 is invest consistently. Don't say you don't have anything to invest, yet you have time. All of us wake up every day with 24 hours, so use them meaningfully. Number 3 is learn a high income skill. So make sure you learn that something and use it every single day. If you have a phone and you're watching us right now, you cannot say you don't have capital. Why? That phone that is 500,000, 700,000, 1 million is someone's dream in a village to have a house. For you, it is capital that you have. Start with the bad videos. The bad phone will make you the man that will buy you the new phone to make the videos. But if you are waiting for buying a 17 or a Samsung Galaxy S27, 27, right? If you are waiting for that, you will not make money, I can assure you. But if you endeavor to use your time, to use that you have, then you make money. So number 4 is own assets. So someone will ask me, so am I going to use your teeth to gain own assets? I'm going to ask this question all the time because I mean to ask it. Someone is going to ask you, am I going to use your body? Yeah? What are even assets in every way? Yeah? Assets are those things that you have proprietary rights over, that you can patent, that you can copyright. Assets are things like we've been talking about videos right now. So someone who doesn't know, for example, like HiPipo, we might be the biggest owner of local content in East Africa. Why? We have for very many years, for the last 20 years, we have run more than 127 events. And 28 of these events are awards events, 29 including this South Africa. and then very many others. And for each of these events, we have content that we own. And those assets, do you know what they call a petabyte? If you've never, or if you're hearing about a petabyte for the first time. So a petabyte is the amount of content that Netflix owns. So someone in Japan invented internet that can download all the content that Netflix has in 1 second. It is not called 5G. It is called something else, okay? In 1 second, you can download the entire library of Netflix. That's where we are going. Why am I saying this? I am telling you that the world of things like content, if you have a company where you don't produce content every day, you're joking. I told Mazen and Ernst Fontanel, he was the CMO of MTN and Mazen was the CEO of MTN. Years ago, they were my friends. I told them about how marketing was going to change, I told them about how marketing was going to change and it was going to be content driven. Then, 15 years later, I find Nick posting on his status saying, content is the new currency. Not so? So someone thinks the only assets they are going to have is land. Of course, when you have money, go and buy land and grow some cassava and also plant some Nonda coffee. Because one day Nonda coffee is going to become a name of a local breed of coffee one day. I've said it to Dan, it's going to happen. We are going to make sure we discuss that with my friends and my colleagues there. So, Nonda Coffee says, brilliant ideas here. This is a great move and milestone. Thank you so much. Hi Daphne, how are you doing? And then Manirakiza Benjamin says, I started startups, but startups without any supportive job or some salary isn't easy. Of course, it's not going to be easy, Benjamin. Nothing is easy. But for whatever you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, the assets you want to own might be the simple things you're working on. Someone owned assets of bottles that they didn't buy, but they collected them and they were able to sell them and have $500,000. So for you, you don't have anything you want to own. You can't even own assets of very old clothes that you can sell in kilos somewhere and they are used to manufacture new clothes. You can't do that. People are talking about recycling. I see, sorry about the people who died from Chitezi, because I'm not saying this to insult anyone, but I saw many people who live that side who have no business in Chitezi. And then they are the ones complaining about rubbish. Honestly, you are near the opportunity, but you're calling for KCC. I don't think they ever refused anyone to collect rubbish from there. Did they? But then people who live close to that side, because me, I'd never been to Chitezi until that year when people actually died. That's when I went there. But you cannot be living around the opportunity and you're asking for the government to use the opportunity. Unless if you want to be poor. Not one single person. Probably we wouldn't have lost so many people. Probably, like the Chinese do, we would have used all that waste meaningfully. Government works, they dump it there, we use it. The next day they dump, Chinese have created factories, small factories in their bedrooms, in their homes, in their kitchens, and they're producing stuff every single day. 1, because they started a business. 2, because they invest their time consistently. 3, because they learned a high income skill, so they use that skill to own assets. You dump, they reproduce something. They get something out of that phone that you've dumped. The next thing, it is on the market and it's being sold to Uganda. One is called HiPipo, the other one is called Nonda, the other one is called PesaJet. Start something, okay? Before you run to PesaJet to get a loan, they're going to ask you, what are you doing? Before you ask someone, give me a new phone, I should pay for it in a year. Yet you're not doing anything. But if they know you're producing something, they'll be like, I give it to you, but you also advertise my business. And then in the year, you will give me the money. They even believe they know you have an address, they have somewhere to find you. At least they'll come on your post and comment, Nick, you haven't paid me money for my phone that I gave you. I'm waiting for it, you get. So, when we tell you about the fact that we organize the Digital Impact House Africa, we're running the 13th annual edition. When people come there, they come there to learn about how the digital world is changing things. They don't come there to eat. Of course, they always have a nice lunch, premium, yeah? But then the conversation is going to shift away from all those things you do with other people. Then you live broke. Then you live when you have no asset. We come and ask you, hey, Nick, you've worked in media for 10 years. Do you own any content? And then Nick is like, no, I was producing for Suvi. No way, we're not going to allow that to happen. All of us equally have a right to own assets. For me, the most assets I want to own for now are content. It has been my goal when I started cinematography back in the days, about 22 years ago. I was with Master, and the only thing I wanted is I wanted to create movies. At least in our library of movies, we have a third floor Pigu that has been selected for now 84 times internationally and has won 17 awards internationally. The Ugandans refused to give us an award. And I will tell Humphrey one of these days, my friend, that they refused to nominate us. Ugandans said this is BS. Eh? Then the people in New York said it is worth winning an award. But at least we have an asset. I have something I can leave for inheritance of my children and great-great-grandchildren. Not so? So for you, what do you have? Ask yourself. Don't tell me you have time. Because the time is yours. When you're dead, no one is reusing your time. Of course, someone can take your heart, your liver, your kidneys if they're still functioning. But no one is going to use your time, ladies and gentlemen. So, as we talk about the 1,000 ways to build wealth, be sure that you start a business, invest consistently, learn a high-income skill, and then, number 4, own assets. They can be as simple as owning content if you think it is fake. Because Google became a trillionaire company using your content, if you don't know. You see, people only want to be told about rich people and they learn. Eh? If you don't know that Facebook became a trillionaire worth company, the assets they mostly own are your content. But they have patents for their structure. Because TikTok right now is ruling everyone in content. And they have made billions. Every president talks about them. President Donald Trump became president because of TikTok. And then they use your content. I've never seen TikTok even posting its own content really. Apart from a few advisories. WhatsApp sends a few of them, but WhatsApp hasn't got better ways of making money from their structure. They have really not been able to find the structured way of commercializing WhatsApp. They really took it to conquer that space because someone, Zuckerberg was very smart to know that if WhatsApp became very successful, Facebook would die if they were not owning it. The same way, if Instagram became very successful and it wasn't owned by Meta, still Facebook would die. I told someone years ago that Facebook one day would be the biggest TV, and they were playing. Now, you go on TikTok at night, and you find lives, 100 lives, each one has 1,000 viewers. There is a lady I found the other day, she was very vulgar. She opens her body a little bit for a second, and she had 2,000 people watching live, including me. Yeah? I'm telling you, yeah? No, I was streaming, and then I found her. How did I say her? Like, I saw her. I'm forgetting her name. I would have mentioned it. But clearly, can you imagine that most TVs in East Africa don't get 1,000 viewers at the same time? Most of them don't. I know for a fact. People on TVs are going to come here and saying, what? I know. It's a fact. Now for you, what are you creating? So ladies and gentlemen, number 5 of the 1,000 ways to build wealth is, someone said it before, but number 5 is save before you spend. So if you ever want to make money, you see some of these ways are going to be repeated somewhere because the algorithm we are using to create the 1,000 ways, the book we are writing, is also supposed to be minding of how to remind you. So some things will come back. So when you see start a business again as number 21, it's a reminder that you should actually make sure you start a business. Number 5 of the 1,000 ways to build wealth is save before spending. So many people always want to save money when the money they earned has been used, which is okay. It is your money. You have to eat life. Sometimes you have to show off. It is okay to show off. Yeah. But be mindful of the fact that at the end of the day, if you want to build wealth, you need to save some things, including time. So someone was thinking, I'm going to talk about money, and someone was going to ask me, so I save what I don't have? No. First of all, learn the manners of saving when you have. But also, you have time that you misuse. You attend every wedding on credit. You go and bury every people as if you're a night dancer. Yeah? You attend every birthday party and spend 50,000. You attend every baby shower as if you are a witch. Yeah? So you're not saving your time. Every time you have a hangover, you are the same person that they call for parties. Now the time for Basama is coming. They call you and tell you, guys came to Uganda and they want to meet some nice looking girls. You take your body. You're not saving your time. You're a joker. You're playing with your time. No one is paying back your time. So one man is seated here, 4 girls. So 1 hour against 4 hours is being spent. So when you spend about 5 hours in that meeting place, 4 girls have spent 20 hours and 1 man has spent 5. And then you think you're going to get back your 20 hours. Are you for real? Save before you spend. When you take yourself somewhere doing things, you're spending your time. I hope those who studied English actually understand this better. Yeah? Because me, I studied little English. When you take yourself somewhere doing nothing, you're spending time. That is why people want to go and spend some time here at Maldives, at Diane, what? At Fresco Chicken, you get it? At my doctor, yeah? Or someone wants to go and spend time at a mortuary. Are you a night dancer? Are you a cannibal? Like, seriously. Number 5, ladies and gentlemen, of the 1,000 ways to build wealth is save before you spend. So before you go and spend your energy on things that don't help you productively and make you wealthy, be sure to spend that same time making your body rest. But also make the same time to do something that you'll count on one day. So for me, I'll tell you, for the last 5 years, I was checking my Grammarly summary recently. I have been blessed. Let me use the word blessed. I have been blessed to write at least 114 million words in the last 5 years. Yeah? So you want to tell me I don't have assets? I have written 4 books in the same time. How many articles have we written together? Thousands, not so? We've written proposals and some of them nebatukuba, yeah? We've proposed stuff to people. We have assets. We have things that we can even share with our great-grandchildren and tell them, if you ever want ideas, look into this archive and then get whatever you want. Okay? So you ask someone else. When you check my chat GPT today, you will find that I over milk it whenever I pay for my subscription. I want to get back all my money. I use it to generate stuff. I use it to think about ideas. Every night before I sleep, I spend an hour or 2 just trying to be with myself, reading with ChatGPT, asking questions and getting answers. What are you using your time to do? Save before you spend. So if you're not saving time to read and become wealthy by knowledge, then are you spending it in a bar shouting and wow, you are spending it in church, the pastor is making money, and then for you are busy. I don't want to say shouting, no. But you're busy getting tired. You're spending your time. Then for them, they are working and you're not. Then when you come back to our world of normality, you have a landlord to pay, you have meals to buy, you have parents, you have everything and the other. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it is going to be up to you, ladies and gentlemen, as we close today's conversation. You're going to make your choices, okay? You're going to make the choices of either learning and starting to do something, or spending your time, saving your time before you spend, and equally for your money, of learning a high income skill, and also making every other decision you want as a human being, because it is your life. When poverty comes in, it will be on your name. It won't be on mine, honestly. That I can assure you. Yeah. If it is poverty, so Benjamin says, do you sell your books or can we access them online? They are going to be online soon, Benjamin. Thank you for the question. Well, actually, the first book we are going to put out on Amazon and other platforms is called Why I Fired the Pastor. You can put the name of the pastor you want, but mine, I know him. He's my friend. Not so? Yeah, I know him. Why I filed the pastor. So, and I'm sure when you read it, you'll be inspired. But for whatever you want to do, if you want to become wealthy, ladies and gentlemen, be sure every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. East African Standard Time, join us in this series of 1,000 ways to build wealth. Today, we covered the first 5 ways. And number 1 is start a business. Number 2 is invest consistently. The first thing you can invest is your time before anything else. Number 3 is learn a high income skill. So you can learn how to edit videos. When you edit a video of 1 hour every day for 3,650 days, you'll have assets that very many people who call themselves wealthy don't have. Number 4 is own assets. And number 5 is save before spending. And what you have to save also includes your time. It cannot only be money. And Nonda Coffee, it is magical, says we have loved this as Nonda, and could we meet up and have a chat? Beautiful work here. Thank you. Definitely will be at Nonda Coffee. It is magical. So from everyone here, if you want farming inputs, go to Farmers Center Chibuye. If you want the best branding, go to Jude Color Solutions. You have it right there. If you want cool, awesome chicken, go to Fresco Chicken. If you want to study and be wealthy, go to HiPipo University. If you want to have good health, go to My Doctor, Your Health, anytime, anywhere. If you want to have your business process payment easily, get to PesaJet right now and we shall fly the payment into your wallet. If you want awesome experience, go to Vaz World. Yeah. If you want good life, come to HiPipo. And if you want solar to light up your village, come to Solar M7 baby, right? And if you want awesome stuff, fashion, go to Fitting. And Fitting is decent Africa anyway. If you want to organize your events, go to Derrick Events and Promoter Cool Cards. And if you want tomatoes, go to Madam CEO Ngavide. If you want bags, go to Douche Glam Musumba, yeah? And you'll have it right there. But I got a business. We're going to have to market hour every other day, so we shall allow businesses to advertise themselves on HiPipo every single day, but you pay some little money because we're going to have someone to help you. We post your business across all our platforms every day for just about 50K on a day. Not so? Is that very hard for people? So we're going to start those conversations, ladies and gentlemen. And remember to buy yourself a HiPipo Musical House ticket. Barbara Pili says it's been an empowering session. Thank you so much for the information. Yeah, got it. And then Madam President Gawire Israel says, by the way, does it sell agrochemicals? Yes, Farmers Center does. And then senior manager, Viva XP says Nonda Coffee Mulondo is the best at this evening. Exactly. Thank you for that one. And then Benjamin says 3pad.org. Log on to that website and check what they're doing. And then Solar M7 baby says we are going to start a marketplace for everyone. Yeah. And then Douche Glam says I want chicken tomorrow. Yeah, you're gonna have it. Fresco Chicken has it. Just check on their TikTok. And then Madam President Gavide says, yes, come to me for vegetable seedlings. Awesome. And then Austin, Real Art Films, come for great pictures. Of course, I wanted to see you here. And then of course, the pictures. Austin takes all my pictures at the events. But Austin stopped taking pictures of people who are having private conversations because they can they can end up in DMZ. And then Benjamin says, Avante on tech.net. Okay, check out the platform. And then Comrade Kenneth says, we vibe with the best here. Definitely. And that's our new slogan. So ladies and gentlemen, for whatever it is, tune on to HiPipo every single time. Sooner than you can imagine, we're going to have very many live sessions every single day of our lives. We are truly broadcasting ourselves to the world, and we are turning our innovations to more access to people and to make sure we share this knowledge and information that we have. And until next time, remember to buy your HiPipo Musical Awards tickets and buy a very awesome attire fitting will sort you. Make sure you look as great. It is the only red carpet event in the country. Others lay mats. Ours is classical. Premium, 15 years down the road. People said we were going to fail in the second year. I wanted to tell them a very bad one. But I want to tell you guys, God saw us to this day. And can you imagine? Alice Nakato Events is on this one as well. So be sure to attend the 15th annual HiPipo Music Awards. Buy yourself a ticket. If you are a man and your girlfriend has been giving you our free tickets, you owe us a lot of money. Buy a ticket. If you run a company and you've been asking for complimentaries, we don't get free things from your company. Buy your ticket. 15th, tickets start at 100K. You can go as much as you want. And if you want that class experience, VVIP experience, some people who will be buying VVIP and platinum experience will be getting passports to the HiPipo Music Awards. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having a passport of the only brand that made it 21 years later in Uganda? We started in the Silicon Valley of Uganda, and all our friends are now being employed somewhere. Can I mention their names? Yeah, I can mention them. All of them. Others are faking it because they didn't want to consistently invest time. And it's where we are. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying we are grateful to God. We've made it this far, and you too can make it this far. So be sure to join the people that God has blessed. See you next week. God bless you.